What's going on, everybody? Malcolm back again from Majestic Skies. And today, unfortunately, in this video, I need to talk about a bit of a dark incident which occurred at my local airport in Ottawa, where I'm currently doing flight training. This was an incident that I was actually nearly directly involved in. By the way, this video you're watching is actually the night before the incident. As you can see, I've just kind of taxied onto runway 27 and I'm just doing a kind of standard circuit flight to get a little bit more solo practice. I'll just have this video kind of playing in the background as I explain the incident which occurred. To summarize, what happened is somebody basically stole a parked aircraft at the Rockcliffe Airport in Ottawa, Ontario, and crashed it right away after taking off from runway 27. Around the point you see in the video here, the plane was, of course, severely damaged, and they impacted two other aircraft parked off the main apron. As far as I know, only the individual that stole the aircraft suffered any injuries, but since there's still an ongoing investigation into this, I'm not 100% sure as details are still coming to light. It has, however, been confirmed that the culprit has been brought into police custody, which means, of course, this wasn't an accidental crash by the owner of the plane or anything like that. Now, I can't really get into anything that's not publicly available regarding this incident, as it could be actually a security risk for the airport and the area around the airport. And being that I'm a member of the Rockcliffe Airport, this is something I don't take lightly. But as I stated earlier, I was actually nearly directly involved in this incident. And what I mean by this is I actually had a solo flight booked in for around the same time this incident occurred. Thankfully, though, my instructor actually canceled this flight after I had already driven into the airport. As the wind basically shifted from a headwind to nearly a direct crosswind, and being that I've only had 3 solo flights so far, he felt it was safest that we just reschedule the flight. I was a little frustrated at the time as I'm trying to get as much flying in as possible, and I'd just driven through some really heavy traffic to get there on time, but I kind of laughed it off, said goodbye to everybody, and went home. But then just a few hours later, I did get an email from the airport confirming an incident had occurred. Further information is likely to come out about this after the police and TSB conclude their investigation, but it's pretty clear to me, even as a student pilot, that this individual that stole the plane either had no idea how to actually fly it or they were under the influence of something at the time. But like I said, I can't confirm or deny anything. I'm just as kind of in the dark as everyone else on this. But in general, most general aviation planes are very easy to take off. So what likely happened in this case is they rotated the aircraft at way too low of an airspeed on takeoff, and it stalled before gaining much altitude and came crashing back down to earth. When you're in ground effect on takeoff, it's what they call ground effect, small planes can actually take off at a lower airspeed than usually required for flight. But once you get out of that ground effect, if you're still at that low of an airspeed, a stall's pretty much nearly guaranteed at that point. While this is an extremely scary incident, it's actually very fortunate, in my opinion, that this person didn't know how to fly the plane better, as if they had managed to take off and gain any altitude, they would have been over a very heavily populated area that has a lot of embassies, apartment buildings, and government buildings very close by. So this is something that could have turned into an incident with a lot more loss of life. And anyways, that's basically what happened. As you can see now, I've just kind of done my base turn for 27, the same runway the culprits attempted to take off from. And I'm really hoping I'll be able to continue flying at Rockcliffe. I think that it should be okay after this investigation's concluded, but definitely very stressful. I mean, I don't know what I would have done if I was in the circuit, as they call it here, when he stole the plane and did what he did. I'm assuming it's a he. I haven't heard actually their exact identity confirmed here, but yeah, I don't know what I would have done. Obviously, I'm still a beginner pilot, so having to deal with somebody like that, flying around, anywhere around the airport. If I was coming in for a landing when that happened, I don't know what I would have, what would have honestly happened. I mean, obviously, I would have seen them on the runway. I wouldn't have landed, like right next to where they were, but. If I saw them at the hold short line waiting for me and then they cut in front of me or something, I mean, I don't know what would have occurred. But anyways, just kind of thought I'd make a quick video about this and kind of talk about what happened here. By the way, the PAPI lights you're seeing there aren't really the most accurate at Rockcliffe. I was saying I was too low. And you can see I was pretty close to the right glide path there. But yeah, as you can see, I had a beautiful, wonderful flight the night before this incident. Like I said, it really is a shame that this happened at Rockcliffe, and I'm just hoping that the investigation is able to kind of conclude quite quickly. We're able to hold this person accountable for their actions, and I'm able to continue with my flight training at Rockcliffe as I'm really getting to an exciting part of my flight training. This is actually my third solo flight here. You're going to see me round out in just a moment and bring it in for a nice landing on 27. So yeah, basically from here I'm about halfway towards my PPL, and I'm really starting to feel a little bit of confidence behind the controls. Obviously not something to take for granted or get ahead of yourself on. I'm still a beginner pilot, but it's definitely a rewarding feeling to be able to fly the plane by myself and not be scared, and be able to kind of just do what I need to do and yeah, advance as a pilot. So I do thank you very much for watching this video. If you do want to follow my progress towards my PPL, do make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as it really helps my channel grow. And if you want to get involved in the discussion on this incident, feel free to leave a comment as well. Let's not make let's not make any assumptions about what happened. Like I said, I have some guesses as far as whether they were a trained pilot or whether they really knew what they were doing or not, but those are just guesses, so nothing's really confirmed other than the fact that someone stole the plane and crashed it just off of this taxiway here. You can see me turning on, but everything else is kind of just my own guesses as far as what I think happened. I really don't know for sure. And we'll find out more as more information comes to light from the investigation. So yeah, once again, thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Well, if you can believe it, literally as I'm making this video, it looks like I was basically right about this accident. Looks like it was a 64-year-old man that was brought into custody, and he attempted to take off, gain minimal altitude, and then crash right away, basically. Brought to the hospital for minor injuries, and that's basically all the information we have right now. But looks like they have found him accountable for his actions, and looks like this will probably be a pretty quick little investigation here, and this guy's going to go away, hopefully for a really long time for this.